welcome to Overdrive. I'm Shireen Bhan. Now, Fiat is en route to making a comeback in India, and leading the charge is the Fiat Linea. We've had the Linea on this show before. In fact, it's even won the mid-size car of the year at the CNBC TV 18 Overdrive Awards 2009. But does it have enough to take on its segment rivals, the Maruti Suzuki Dzire and the Ford FiestA? Well, Sirish hits the road to find out.
The Fiat Linea, you know we are impressed by it. So impressed that we crowned it a mid-size car of the year. We were floored by her gorgeous styling, the made-for-India suspension package, these beautiful and surprisingly well put together interiors, and most of all, her 8 lakh price tag with all this equipment. That was the diesel. This car, this is the petrol. A car that Fiat has been strangely silent about and surprisingly reluctant to let us get our hands on, which makes us even more curious. And when you look at the specs, a puny 1.4-litre petrol engine makes you wonder, is this car a bit hopeless? But rather than talk about the Linea in isolation, we brought along its two key rivals, the Ford FiestA 1.6 and the Maruti Suzuki Swift Dzire. And since we've already talked about all three cars extensively on the show, we've decided not to bore you with another road test of all these cars. Instead, the producers have decided to throw 7 key questions at me. 7 questions that you should be asking when you go out to buy a car. Good question. Now here's the deal. The Swift Dzire, fully loaded, is 6.2 lakhs. The Linea, it starts at 6.2 and goes up to 7.2 with everything. The Fiesta is the priciest at 7.4. And the Honda City, it starts at 8 lakhs. And at that price, you don't get alloys, you don't get climate control, you don't even get a proper CD player. Oh yes, 1.6 litres and 100 horsepower, which is what the Fiesta 1.6 offers. Okay, in terms of outright times, the 12.3 seconds to 100 might not be killer, but in terms of feel, this Duratec 1.6 engine is as involving a unit as any.
After that, it's all downhill. The Dzire gets a tweaked version of the old 1.3-litre all-aluminium engine from the Esteem. And since it makes most of its power high up the rev range, you have to keep shifting gear constantly. But it's still not as bad as the Linea. 95 horsepower from a 1.4-litre engine is impressive, but here it has 1.2 tons to haul around, and that's just overwhelming. No wonder Fiat are hiding this car from us.
There's a car called the Dzire here, but if you intend to pull the ladies, it's the least desirable of the lot. That Dzire tag is tacked onto, well, the least desirable bottom here, a bottom that looks like it's come from an altogether different car. Hello Swift, goodbye Dzire.
Though it's a bit of an old hat in this snazzy shade of blue with the spoiler and bodywork, the Fiesta is the bee's knees.
The Fiesta has to resort to all this razzle-dazzle to arouse attention, whereas the Linea, now this is classically beautiful, like how Italian cars are supposed to be. At the front, it's got this gorgeous Maserati-inspired nose, lovely flowing lines, beautiful bright work, and a dashing bottom. Whatever you might say about Fiat, they do make sexy cars, and the world is a far, far better place for it.
Then you shouldn't look to the Linea. While the Fiat suspension is the most perfectly suited to India and handling is competent, it doesn't inspire the hooligan in you, and that's what being fun to drive is all about. So you might think that the Dzire with its Swift DNA would be better. It is, but not by much. Go a little berserk and the tail snaps out alarmingly, and that's a big problem. The Maruti behaves exactly like it looks. Two cars joined together at the hip.
So if you want to have fun, the Fiesta ticks all the right boxes. This great engine, the gearbox, the communicative steering, the seat of the pants speed, all make this an awesome car to drive. You'll have a hoot driving this car.
You need to ask yourself if the Fiesta really makes sense at 7.4 lakhs for this sport variant. For the kind of interior room this car offers, even the base version, which costs 6.4, won't have us reaching into our pockets anytime soon. That's the price at which the Linea starts, and that variant gets only air conditioning. This version, the Emotion, costs 7.2, and that's loaded with all the kit you'll ever need. And if you take into account the increased cachet that the Linea will command down at the club, you would be well advised to put in the extra money.
But the only car with the perfect answer is the Dzire. It's like the car made for the recession. This version, the VXI, costs 5.28 lakhs. And the fully loaded ZXI with airbags, ABS, alloys, climate control, the integrated stereo, all comes for just 6.2 lakhs. And that's phenomenal value for money. Well, this is it. There's ample space here, unlike the Fiesta, where you'll never find enough space to get truly comfortable. Even though headroom looks tight, it's actually quite nice in here. Everything looks nice, I like the colors, the fit and finish is nice, the build quality feels solid, and that's unlike the Swift, which doesn't inspire much confidence. In fact, I really like it in here, so much so that I can see myself living in here for the next 3 years and not immediately yearning for an upgrade. This is it. And that's the question everybody's asking. Does it make sense to buy a Fiat? After all those horrendous stories of Fiat ownership, should you really go out and buy a Fiat? Well, I was never a Palio owner, and I don't know of all those horror stories. What I do know is that the Linea is fantastic. You can't but help love the way this thing is styled, and you can't help but be impressed by the way this thing is put together. Okay, the engine might not have enough power, but then again, apart from a few guys like me, who really cares?